We'll talk about what comedian Rob Schneider terms the ugly, inhuman siege of Gaza, and if Rob Schneider decides that it's worthy for him to talk about, then we should talk about it.
He is a venerated Middle East policy analyst.
Well, I mean, he's gone on from making copies and things like that to Deuce Bigalow.
Being a male gigolo.
Yeah,
right?
we'll also talk about the red light camera problem in Chicago. But we are pleased to be joined in studio right here, right now, by Brad Thor, whose Act of War is debuted at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Thank you for coming in, Brad.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning.
And we're going to see you tonight.
We are.
We
are. We got
Chris Steakhouse in Northbrook.
Yep, a special pre-event party for a select group of lucky WLS listeners, and then I'll be doing my book signing tonight at the bookstall in Winnetka at 7 p.m.
We have seen you making the rounds. You have been on every show. It's going to be on your last stop on the Whistle Stop tour.
I had to come back and see my boys
before you go back to Tennessee, where the expatriate Brad Thor, who grew up on the Gold Coast, right?
Right down to my dad's from Roseland, my mom's from Park Forest, and I grew up downtown.
And now you live in Tennessee. How is life?
Cashville, I like to call it.
Yeah, right.
Cashville, Tennessee.
He moved into Johnny Cash's old place in Lake Henderson.
We talked to you when you were leaving the state of Illinois.
I was in my car. That was the last time we spoke.
Sent the state police after you to try to retrieve you, but you crossed the state line, the moat, and you went into Tennessee.
5% raise the minute I crossed the line.
There we go.
Do you and Art Laffer have coffee every morning now?
You know what's funny? I actually have a date to have coffee with Art Laffer when I get done with the tour. Yeah. Yep, I'm going to be sitting down with Art.
Another great American.
Who lives in a tax haven.
Somebody who will not be at the event tonight, and we just found out this story talking before we came back on air. Johnny Depp will not be there tonight.
What a punk.
And
what a punk.
Brad Thor had almost gotten a fist fight with Johnny Depp.
Way back in the 21 Jump Street days. Hey, listen, I've always thought the guy was a tool bag, and I never liked him, and he tried to cut in front of me at LAX and was upset that I was chatting with a nice stewardess there, and we used to call them stewardesses, by the way, flight attendant.
Sure.
And exactly. And he was a tool bag, was upset nobody noticed him, and he was rude, and I told him he was rude, and he wasn't used to being told he was rude, and he dropped one bag, and I said, you drop that second bag, I'm going to drop you. And security stepped in. And that was the end of that.
Now tell us the fight you got in with Holly Robinson.
Holly Robinson Pete.
Yes.
Before
Pete.
Before I'm a USC guy, I wouldn't get in a fight with her. I love her husband.
Who else have you almost gotten in? Because you look like a fisticuff driven.
Yeah, I know. I got a short fuse.
High energy guy.
High energy guy.
You did not get into a fight with anybody at RL when we dined there.
No, I'm a lover.
Which was memorialized in Michigan Avenue magazine.
Yes.
By the way, that's one of the career highlights for Bruce Wolf. He's mentioned his lunch with you at RL no fewer than a dozen times.
Well, it's a great article this month. Everybody should read it.
It wasn't only an article. I mean, the lunch, it was an article in Michigan Avenue magazine. They were taking down, this Boswell was taking down the words of Brad Thor and me.
By the way, I haven't seen you since that lunch. You look great. You've been working out?
I've been eating at RL every day.
You really,
and,
really
the best stuff.
Can you get the rest of the afternoon off?
Speaking of needing security to break this up. Yes.
Are you going to jet me down to Tennessee?
I'll bring you down. Come down, play 18. We'll get some barbecue, and I'll put you on the plane back to the wonderfully run state of Illinois.
Sure. So you left because of taxes?
I left because of taxes and violence. And I was tired of being seen as an ATM by the likes of Mike Madigan, who said people like me, if they haven't left already, they aren't going to leave. Hey, guess what, Speaker Madigan? I left. And I took a bunch of people with me. Just found out neighbors of mine here in Chicago have now got their place up for sale. They're moving down. They're taking all their tax money. Another couple that we're friends with, he's an American Airlines pilot. He's going to move down there with his wife. They're taking their tax dollars. It's like rats jumping off a sinking ship. And I just hope the people of Illinois start voting for somebody other than the Democrat machine here that have run. Name one thing the Democrats are doing in Illinois or Chicago that you want more of. One thing. One thing.
Rahm had a press conference on Friday about jobs.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
He did a pivot to jobs. That's kind of popular with his set. Sure. Pivot to jobs.
He is for
so
more
be a
of
task force, an investigation. Let's find the jobs.
Brad, you may write these Horvath books.
Horvath, yep.
Yeah. Obviously, you've read them.
Well, you may write.
Big fan.
I am a big fan. Wait, did I mispronounce it?
Yes, It's Harbath, not Horvath.
Oh,
H-A-R, not H-O-R.
It's the Deerfield pronunciation. I get it.
You're out of the movie.
I have a West Side pronunciation. I say basketball. Yeah, it's a West Side pronunciation. But you should be writing your living, breathing book of the Bible, Exodus. You're writing that chapter right now.
It's economic self-defense. I didn't want to go. I love Chicago. Move is a 4-letter word. I grew up here. Like I said, my dad's from Roseland. My mom's from Park Forest. I didn't want to leave. I love, love, love the city, love this state. But the Democrats need to be taught a lesson. And so I took my tax dollars and moved down to Nashville, and I'm going to continue my guerrilla warfare, my agitating from down in Nashville.
Well, frankly, you're behind the learning curve, and we're even further behind it because a net million people have left the state over the last 15 years. So there are people that were way ahead of the learning curve, saw the gathering storm well before even the great Brad Thor.
61% more people leaving than moving in, and the people moving in make a lot less money than the people leaving. I mean, the job creators are leaving this state in droves. It's like rats jumping off a sinking ship. But you know what? Let's have worse bond ratings. Let's have more government. That's the answer to everything. There is no course correction in liberalism. The answer always is double down on what failed. Give us more money, we'll fix it.
No,
you can't have my money anymore.
Well, you maybe aren't keeping up with the news, but we have the prospect of a Mayor Karen Lewis, so that'll help.
Oh, that's going to be great.
I knew it
Detroit, here we come.
I knew it wasn't. I thought it was Horvath, but I knew it was Scott with one T.
Scott with one T.
I knew that.
Named after my brother, Scott with one T.
There we go. We'll talk more about the book. Are you ready to opine on Israel as well?
And let's talk about the movies.
The Exodus. Yeah.
The book is called Act of War, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. There we go. We'll be back at 7:18.